Bryant of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't. Fullback, hello.
Roger Vick, Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand what the draft's all about.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golson.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
D. Milner. Dino Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.
The New York Jets select Zach Wilson.
Future Pro Bowler, Elijah Moore.
Michael Carter, running back.
I don't know why it takes so long between the thing and getting back. It's like a long period of blackness, Tom. I don't know what that is. I go, hey, that's what happens every week. So how you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Likewise, my friend. Likewise. Favorite show of the week. Here we are, guys. 10 o'clock mock back in effect.
That's right. Welcome, everybody. I am GreenBean. That is our good friend, Dom C. And this is the 10 o'clock mock every Monday until the draft. Where we dissect different scenarios, and you have the ability to contribute by voting for each one of the picks in our polls. We try different things every week. This week, we have an interesting one that we'll get into. We'll get into it in just a moment. I want to say hello to some people. Dakota started us off.
As always.
Yeah, there he is. He's talking about Russell Wilson getting released. Only $35 million. They got to pay him. That's a good business move. What do they care? They're Walmart. They made $35 million before 8 a.m. this morning, dude. It doesn't matter. They're like, whatever, get rid of the guy. You don't like him, get him out of the house. That's the way it goes. Gary's here. What's up, Gary? Green Hearts up the wazoo. Matthias Simon in the house. That's right. Jay-Z's here. Epic indeed. RB Gamer. Oh, Beanbagger, welcome aboard, buddy. Welcome aboard. I'll go check the Patreon, and I'll write you a little something. So I'll whisper some sweet nothings in your ear, my friend. Thank you. Glad to have you. Aaron Daniels is back. Good to see you. Bearded's a beanbagger and a stream beaner. Look at you, Bearded. It's good to have you, as always. JJ, he says, calm down, Dakota. No way. Dakota can't be calmed. He cannot be quelled. Mikey Miles is back. Matthew Wright, what wide receiver? Well, we'll see what wide receivers we get. Mark from Asbury Park, the pizza maker himself, is here. Good to see you, Mark. And Mo Dean's here. He's talking about wooden leg wide receiver. Which receivers is he referring to with the wooden leg, Dom? Is it,
would that be Tiny Tim? Did he have a wooden leg?
No, I don't think he did, actually.
Well, we can pretend, right?
Yeah, we can do anything we want, my friend. I'll tell you that. Alan Doge, another beanbagger in the house. What's up, Alan?
Hey, Alan.
He's been this is his first season with the Monday Night Mock, Dom. So he's excited. He's been here, but he does fall asleep when we start to get later into it. Alan's got to wake up early, man. He's really early, so he doesn't make it to the end. So we got to hurry up. That's what it is. GreenBean's here. Good to see you, GreenBean. Nice to always have you. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. What's up, Daniel Berry?
Hey, Daniel. What's that?
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Scared the shit out of me, GreenBean. What happened, Mikey? I'm sorry. When I yelled, what happened? I don't even remember. Arlen's here. Hank's here. Red John's here. Donker Salut's in the house. Our buddy Bill is in the house. Bill's here. Infrared. And all the rest, Evan and the main catch. I see all you guys. Alan checking in with a super chat. Does the intro have to remind us that we took Christian Hackenberg? You know what's funny, Alan? It's interesting that you say that to me because that's the one that sticks out. Like whenever I play that intro, it kind of blends together and I'm usually doing stuff, final things. But every week that's the one that kind of sticks out that I'm like paying attention to what's going on. It's always poor Chad Pennington that we trotted out there. Hey, you want to make our pick for us? Yeah, that'd be great. And you go, Christian Hackenberg, who the guy everybody knew was a 7th round pick. Mike McCagnon says, "Oh, we're going to fool the world."
Let me ask you this, Bean. Speaking of Hackenberg, I think it's a fair question, one that maybe some will have some discussion about. But taking into account where they were picked and their pedigree and so on and so forth, what was the worst pick, Hackenberg or Zach? Hackenberg in the 2nd round that didn't pan out, or Zach at number 2 overall that completely busted and may have set the franchise back?
Well, there's the only argument that can even make them comparable is the fact that we didn't take a Deshaun Watson or a Mahomes because McCagnon drafted Hackenberg as his guy. So that's the only real argument. Other than that, he's a 2nd round pick that never played. So he just falls in with all the other 2nd round picks that Zach Wilson was the number 2 overall pick. A guy that a couple of things. One, we pushed Sam Darnold out of the building for. Now, I didn't disagree with that, but that's there. The other thing is we did not accept the trade offer, which went to number 3. We were at number 2, which was 3 first-round picks and a 3rd round pick. We probably could have squeezed out another 5th or something like that for being one pick. But either way, so it's not only what Zach has done for the organization, which has made us look completely inept. And I know we have lots of other reasons, but I maintain, and we've talked about this ad nauseum, when you watch the film week after week, it was LaFleur was getting blamed. Now Hackett's getting, everybody's blamed many, 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 many times. It was just the fact that the quarterback just didn't see all the open guys right in front of his fucking face. And it's that simple. We could have been an 8, 9, 10 win team at any time with a Brissett, with a Minshew, with an Aaron Rodgers, with a whoever. So I don't know. I think I'd have to say Zach Wilson, like James Thompson says. That's what I'd like to say. So, but yeah,
man, the trade that could have been, guys, the trade that could have been 3 first rounders and a 3rd. Was that what it was?
For that trade? Yeah. 3, well, including that year's first. So they slid back to 12, and then they got 2 additional firsts and a 3rd round pick.
Yeah.
So then they used that 12 and one of their other picks to move up to 6, I think it was.
Yep.
So they ended up going to 6 and getting an extra 2 firsts.
Getting Waddle. I think they got Waddle at 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
He would have been nice. He would have been pretty okay.
Bad. Not a bad move. But look, there's 2 things. When you look at being up at the number 2 pick, there's really 2 ways to look at it. One is, wow, we can get a haul for this pick. That's the value of it. Or the hope is that I won't be this high again. I got to get my quarterback. You know what I mean? So those are the 2. We chose the quarterback. It is what it is. Jamarcus Russell actually wasn't worse. That's the scary part about it.
That's the truth. They're statistically they are both as we referred to in college in my fraternity, whale shit. We were called whale shits in my fraternity when you were pledging, like the lowest of the lowest, where on the bottom of the ocean. And those two are really bad, man.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Gall, when they had the exact amount of games, it was like 30 games or whatever it was, their stats were eerily similar. It was painful.
It was crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. So, all right. So, guys, here we go. Hello to everybody. Jay and Curly Norman. All you guys are rolling in. It's so good to see all of you. Glad that you come and hang out with us for the 10 o'clock mock. We have a scenario tonight where we trade a couple of times. Now, we have some goals here. And we're going to see, again, how the draft would look if certain scenarios took place. Don't get all upset. This trade, I don't like it. Just live in it and see what would happen. That's what we want to do. What could we do if this was the scenario that we put forth? So, Dom, why don't you go ahead and explain it? Go share your screen if you could.
Yeah.
And go ahead and work through it and explain to the crew what we're going to do tonight.
Let's do this and a little of that. Everyone sees that. So here's what we're thinking, guys. Everyone's talking about, and rightfully so, let's get into, God, what a year not to have a second round pick, right?
Oof.
So, I don't know if it's feasible. I mean, it is feasible if the Jets wanted to trade far enough down where they can possibly accrue a second round pick. But the reality is that, they still might have some targets that they don't want to drop too far down for. So what we're going to do today is we're going to trade down from 10. And the first trade we're going to make, and I'll go ahead and get this started. We've already kind of preemptively talked this out, me and Bean, is let me make the trades that I need to first off with Denver and get 114 because you have to do that here. We're going to force that. And then I have to trade with Baltimore and get rid of 226 because that's the Chuck Clark pick. We're going to force that. So that's done. Okay.
All right.
So now we're set. These are our picks: 10, 72, 112, 114, 187, and then the 3 7th round picks. Okay. The 3 compensatory picks. But we want to talk about how can we get a second round pick without dropping too far down. So what we're going to do is we're going to trade a little bit down. Okay. We're going to trade down from 10 a little bit. And we're going to fit something that completely makes sense. We're going to acquire another 3rd round pick, right?
Ooh,
we're going to go ahead. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and trade with the Raiders. Again, we're assuming we don't control the computer aspect of the mock. But we're going to assume that the Raiders want to trade up for JJ McCarthy.
That's right.
Doesn't matter who
It
they
makes a
go up.
ton of sense to me, Dom. It makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, doesn't matter who they go up. So we're gonna take 13 and we're gonna get their 3rd rounder here. Okay. And so we're gonna trade down a little spot. We're gonna gain a 3rd rounder. We're gonna force that trade through. But what we're gonna do to counteract that later on, and I'll do it after we start and after we pick here at 13, is we're gonna utilize one of those 3rds and one of our 4ths, package them up and move into the 2nd round. So that's going to leave us with a 1st, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, a 6th, and 3 7ths. And we're good.
8 picks.
8 picks.
All right. So no 5th. We'll
Correct.
see how it goes. Maybe we figure out a 5th somewhere along the line.
Yeah,
maybe
we
not.
can play along with that as it comes, but that's the basis of this. Now there's a second part to this Bean that we talked about, right? We remember, guys, that mocks just offer certain scenarios. Like, what would this look like if we did this, right? We all know that we need to fix this offensive line. Absolutely. I'm wholeheartedly in agreement that, there's probably there's a hard case to be made that offensive line isn't the first pick of our first pick in the 1st round. But that's not what we do here on 10 o'clock mock. We want to look at things differently, Dean, right?
Indeed.
So what we're going to do is with this 13th pick, guys, you're not going to have an offensive lineman as your option to pick. We're going to see what the draft would look like if we shied away from offensive line in round 1 and then backfilled it with some of these other picks. So just a little experiment, just another little scenario to see what if, right? So all you Bowers fans and all you wide receiver fans, get your fingers ready to vote because we're going to push this through with no offensive lineman in round 1.
Wow. Okay. So, all right, Dom's taking the lead through the 1st round here. We're going to see. I like what we've done. This is different. So you see, we did some moving and shaking. We slid back, gained enough capital to slide back up. Like the thumbnail said. Now what? And like Dom painted, it really just puts us in a pretty normal draft situation because of the Aaron Rodgers trade and everything that happened. We had to do some work to get back to square one because, like Dom alluded to, this is a pretty damn good year to have a 2nd round pick. It's a deep draft. It's a talent-rich draft in positions of need. And having that gap, that 62 pick gap, you're going to lose a lot of opportunity there. So, Dom, why don't we go ahead and get this thing started? But before we do, I put a poll up there. I don't know if you saw this or if you voted or not.
I didn't.
You didn't vote?
Let me turn on the old.
Dom, you should vote on
I'm
this
gonna.
one. It's very important.
I'm gonna. Let's get it going here.
I got to make sure Dom's ready.
Hang on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Oh man. I don't want to hit it. I don't want to see what the people are saying here.
Yeah. Well, it's very favorable. So is Dom C cool? 17% said no. Or
You
16%.
mother bastards.
Yeah. So 83% think you're a pretty nifty fella, Dom.
All
So
right.
there you go. All right. So let's do this thing. Why don't we start everybody?
draft.
We're gonna begin right now. Here we go.
Ooh, I forgot to change the speed, but that's okay. I can do it here.
Wow, that was fast.
That was
Okay.
very fast. So
That's all
getting that second round pick is going to be tough. So I might have to do that before we make our next pick. But let's get this pick. Let's get this pick. Then I'll make the trade in the second round so we don't miss anything. And then
let's for the top few, let's see what we have here. What guys went off the board?
So it went Caleb Williams, Drake May, Marvin Harrison, Malik Neighbors, Brock Bowers, Joe Alt, Cooper DeJean, Roma Dunze, Nate Wiggins, Talise Fuaga. That's who the Raiders traded up for.
Yeah,
Byron Murphy and Quinyon Mitchell. Listen, not crazy. I mean, you could probably say of these 12 guys, 10 of them really, really make sense. You can make an argument for the 11th in Byron Murphy. And Quinyon Mitchell, this might be a little rich, but it's not terribly it's not terribly off. So, again, this is an exercise. We know, and me and Bean are both on the board of, you got to draft a lineman. But let's just pretend, for argument's sake, we traded for Trent Williams and Penei Sewell. So you don't have to have a tackle.
Right. Let's say we figured it out. We went big, man. We just said we're gonna get Zeitler. We're going to get Trent Green, Tyron Smith, fucking Illuminor. We're stacked.
Yeah.
Hunt. We bought up all the free agent offense. We're stacked. We got too many. We got to cut ABTs. Too many guys. That's how much work we did in free agency. So again, let's explore this.
Yeah.
And see what it is. So, okay. We are at pick 13 right now.
Yes. And we're not including offensive linemen. So, let's look at the wide receivers first and foremost. Okay. Yeah. You got guys like Brian Thomas tested out great. He's, a hot take here, Bean. I think he's a guy that could jump into the top 10 if all three receivers if all three receivers are off early, the Bears could target a guy like Brian Thomas. That's just a little bit of a hot take here.
A little bit of a hot take from Dom C. Brian Thomas climbing the boards. Okay.
Yeah. Ladd McConkey, A.D. Mitchell, one of my favorites in this draft class. My wide receiver 4 in the class, as a matter of fact, A.D. Mitchell. And that was pre-combine before he tested out through the roof.
That's right. And you see these guys, a lot of the guys we talk about, my Ladd McConkey love, all of a sudden everybody's a Ladd McConkey guy.
Yeah.
And then it's fun. It happens every year. But so you start to see these guys test and everybody goes, all right, wait a second here. And they all start climbing the boards. Ladd McConkey's now talked about. I saw him mocked, what was that, maybe 16, 17 picks, something like that?
Yeah, I've seen one as high as 17 to Jacksonville, but the comfortable spot I think he lands in now is probably anywhere from Buffalo to 28 to Kansas City to 32.
Yeah, I saw Kansas City with them too.
Yeah, so you got some wide receivers here. I mean, dare we look defense, guys?
All right. Well, let's put 2 wide receivers up there. So I'll throw Brian Thomas up. You want to do Ladd McConkey? You want to do somebody else?
Throw Brian Thomas, throw Ladd McConkey. You can have fun.
All right.
How
do you spell McConkey again? 2 C's.
MCK.
Really?
Onky.
I don't like it. All right. I don't like what I wrote. All right. I'm spelling it that way.
Okay. Right. Then you have, dare you look defense, guys. I know everyone would hate it, but you talk about guys like Jerzon Johnny Newton, who's a true first round talent on that defensive line. You talk about edge rushers.
No.
Dallas Turner. Okay.
We can't, dude. There's just no way.
Can I tease you with something?
You can tease.
Right here, buddy. You see that? Mr. Jaden
Daniels. Let's do it. I got to throw Jaden Daniels up there.
Throw Jaden Daniels on there. This is an experiment.
You're right.
And then right. I think
you want to throw Jerzon up there. Wait.
Yeah, let's put Johnny Newton up there too. I think he's worthy of a first round pick.
All right. Hold on.
again, guys, the point of this is let's see what kind of tackles we could come up that we could land with, or offensive linemen we could land with in rounds 2 and 3. You know, the focus is always so offensive line heavy, which in reality probably will, but this isn't reality. This is 10 o'clock mock. Let's explore. Let's explore. Hot take.
This is going to be interesting. This might be one of the most. I am legitimately curious about this poll. I don't know if I've been as interested in a poll for the 10 o'clock mock this year as this one.
Okay.
I am so curious.
The poll is up.
Yeah, the poll is up.
I'm going to vote, Bean, but
Yeah,
and I know
go ahead and vote.
you're not going to vote, but I want to know who you want. Yeah.
Who would I take right here? Holy shit. If it's me right here, and this is these are my choices. Oh my God, it's so hard because I love Ladd McConkey, but I don't love him as a 13th overall. I just don't. I struggle with that. Now Brian Thomas. Yeah, I got to go Brian Thomas here.
Yeah,
that's what I would
think.
do.
I think that makes it. I think that makes it really interesting.
6'4", bringing all that shit to the
Runs,
party.
4.3, 40. Can go up and get the ball. But listen, I think, and I haven't voted yet, so I don't know which way the poll's leaning, but I think people are going to like Jaden Daniels, probably the most unrealistic. I'm not going to vote for Jaden Daniels because realistically, I don't think he's going to be here. The other three make sense, and I'm going to make my pick.
Yeah, Justin Thomas checking in said, "Hot take verse on this defense." That's not. Dude.
Oh, that'd be wonderful, right?
But that's the thing. But it's fool's gold, Justin. Like we all see it. We all see it. But once again, we overload one side of the scale, and the other scale's got nothing on it. You know what I mean? Like you need to balance this team.
Yeah.
But I'm with you.
All right, I made my pick, and now I see which way the chat's leaning.
All right, there it is. So I was going to say 3, 2, 1, but I didn't. So, holy shit!
A landslide. A landslide.
I know Modine. Hey, Modine, tell me if you voted for Jaden Daniels. I have a feeling he did. All right. So let's go ahead. Take the quarterback. Oh my God, we did it.
All right, but before I do that, I'm going to make the trade up in case it goes turbo.
Yeah. Don't get
right.
Nate Katz voted for Brian Thomas. Chris Bradigan voted for Thomas. Shane set up. Newton's my guy.
So here's what I'm going to do, guys. Yes, Jaden Daniels is our pick, but before I make the pick, I'm going to make the next trade up because it's on turbo, and I don't want us to miss that spot. All right, so I'm going to trade up with the Indianapolis Colts. Okay, I'm going to trade up with the Indianapolis Colts here.
The Colts. What pick is
46?
46. Interesting. Okay,
46, and I'm going to give up picks 72 and pick 114. Okay, so we're using our earlier second rounder. Actually, I'll do it the other way around. I'll do it 77 and 112. So we're going to give up one of our thirds, one of our fourths for a second. So I'm going to force this trade. Hopefully it lets me take Jaden Daniels. I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try it. Okay. And now we can draft a player. And Jaden Daniels, welcome to New York, my friend. You are screwed.
Yep, and that's Modine's guy. So if you voted for Jaden Daniels, just know you now agree with Modine. Tricked you. That's how that goes.
For the record, Bean, I voted for Johnny Newton.
Did you?
I like those defensive tackles, man.
Yeah, I know because, I don't think this is why I'm just going to point this out. Now, with all the talent, all the incredible brain power that we have in this chat, and with Dom C here, there's a reason why I would need to be the GM. Okay, this is what it is because I can make the tough decisions. That's what it is. Everybody know Newton and Jaden Daniels. Oh, great! Yeah, exciting. Brian Thomas is the guy we need. That's the guy we need. All right, and I make the decision. And my whole entire war room's yelling, Daniels. Dare I say, shut up, and I pick Brian Thomas. That's what a GM does. All right. Anyway, hearing this is exciting. So we got Jaden Daniels with our 13th overall pick. We now have a second, number 46. Here we are. So we did not draft a wide receiver, an offensive lineman, a tight end, a defensive tackle, or a safety yet. But we do have Aaron Rodgers and Jaden Daniels. All right, here we go.
Yeah. Hey, we said we were going to experiment, Bean, and
That's
this
right.
is as.
Oh
this,
yeah, and don't forget, we also said that we're making the assumption that the Jets went heavy offensive line in free agency. So that's what's allowing us to have some flexibility, and we're looking at different things because we got our offensive line for the most part in free agency. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, what do we got?
So here we are at 46, guys, and here's what the big board looks like. You got a tight end, you got Kingsley Suamatea, Roman Wilson. There's a good wide receiver. Jermaine Burton, a little high for my liking. Ricky Pearsall, interesting here.
I was just telling Dom before the stream. I said, "You want to know who I'm bugging out on right now?" I said, "Ricky Pearsall, dude."
Yeah.
So if you haven't watched him, please do. Dude. I'm telling you, man, he's something else.
Yeah. Here are the wide receivers, guys. Before we get into it, we'll look at positions and decide who we want to put in the poll. But you got Roman Wilson, you got Ricky Pearsall, you got Jalen Polk. All fair choices for this area. You have the speedster himself in Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
So you got 4 good wide receivers there. All right, let's look at the offensive line board. Because I know everyone's still hung up on the offensive line. Let's look at the tackles here. So good lesson here. The tackles there's a big drop off, once you get by the guys like Jordan Morgan and stuff like that, which are probably, 6 and 7 and 8 off the board. You got Kingsley Suamatea, Karan Amagaje, who's a very, very raw prospect from Yale.
I like Blake Fisher.
Yeah,
I like Patrick Paul.
Patrick Paul's, I think, a feasible guy. I like him a lot more than Blake Fisher for sure. But let's look at the interior. Let's just see what's there also.
Hey, you know what else we got to do? We got to talk about Patrick Crum, and I'm really upset. I'm on a thread with Dom, and Jeremy and Tigo and Ryan and Matt and everybody, and Dom's putting up everybody's stats yesterday, and it's funny because I was talking about Patrick Crum before he did anything, before he became lettuce and all that shit that they did yesterday in the combine. I'm like, dude, don't forget about Patrick Crum, and I was half joking. I always looked to schools like Wyoming and Wisconsin for those kinds of players. I just do. I do that every year. So I like him. But it's funny, Dom just refused. I would say, hey, come on. And he's just not saying. Finally he puts him up there. What was his RAS score, Dom?
It was one of I can tell you right now. It was one of the highest out of all the offensive linemen. I think he tested in the 98th percentile. I don't know exactly what it was, but high nines.
Yeah, he's a working. I mean, his footwork is sloppy though to me. But he's got lots of potential. But yeah,
athletically, he was through the roof. But you can watch him in the drills, and he was a step behind everyone. You can tell he played at Wyoming.
Yeah, no doubt.
So here's some interior guys that are interested. I think Christian Haynes would be a phenomenal pick, and I think this is a fair spot for him. Then you got guys like Mahogany, who I also think. This might be a little rich. He might be more 3rd round than 2nd round. But I think Christian Haynes is one of the guys we can put on there if you want to address the interior.
Okay.
I think, I'd probably say, I guess Kingsley is the guy I like best out of all these guys, Suamatea.
Yeah. All right.
And then put 2 receivers. I'll let you pick the receivers.
Okay. Kingsley. All right, put that back up there so I can see the spelling.
Sure.
Suamatea, right?
Suamataia.
Ataia. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. He's a tackle. And then you got, all right, go to the wide receivers for me.
Sure.
All right, we're gonna put Pearsall up there, and then let's do the guy. Let's do Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I love him. I love Worthy.
Yeah, well, we've talked about him before too. It's not like we're just because of the combine. But I'll tell you what an exciting moment and what a great moment. Did you see the lady interviewer girl, she runs over. He runs the fastest time ever. Runs around the whole stadium. She trots over to interview him, and she says, "Talk. I need a minute."
Yeah.
And then, it's like, and then they're like, "No, you need to talk." That's what they literally said to her. "No, you're going to need to speak because he just fucking ran." She's like, All right, so we'll throw Xavier Worthy up there. The fastest combine time ever. The poll is up. You got 90 seconds, everybody. I'll look at a few super chats here. Okay, Ron Weiss checking in. Thank you, Ron. He says GreenBean might remember Englishtown sales on Saturday. This feels like that. I don't remember that one, Ron. Is that what do you remember that, Tom? Englishtown sales?
I don't
know what that is, Ron. Let me see here. Englishtown sales. All right. It's an auction house. I don't know what that is. Well, okay, there's probably a commercial or something. You know what I do remember? Westchester County Fair. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I remember that one, Ron, if that means anything. Joey likes Ricky Pearsall too. Wyatt checking in. Wyoming Wyatt, everybody. You should be realistic and think like Joe D. Only take the athletic freaks. We are taking that. That's what everybody is. Have you seen Jaden Daniels?
Yeah, I'll say this. Forget about the 4.21 ridiculous 40 time. If you guys watch Xavier Worthy, he also plays that fast. He's not only straight line like track speed fast, but he's very quick in and out of his breaks. He can win at all three levels. Like that speed just kind of lines up or parallels to the speed that he plays with on the field.
Yeah. Let's take a look real quick. Where's my I'm going to go on the trusty draft buzz here and see
I'm still flabbergasted that we took Jaden Daniels in the first round. Guys.
Yeah, truly. Xavier Worthy. Oh, there it is. The timer is up. But yeah, Xavier Worthy had 75 receptions for 1,014 yards and 5 touchdowns this year. So the production matches. You know what I mean? It's not like this isn't a guy with 500 yards that you're banking on upside. All right, Dom, go ahead. Let me oh shit, what did I do?
Stop the poll?
Yeah, I closed down YouTube for some weird reason. Oh, I did it for Englishtown sales. Hold on a second. Let me close the poll. Looks like what is that? 35, 38?
37, 35.
37. Xavier Worthy is coming to the Jets. Look at that. The world's fastest man, Dom.
Oh, listen, I would love to see him and that speed factor on the offense with Garrett Wilson, and then the third speedster in Alan Lazard. That's a joke.
Yeah. Well, I know. Look, our whole goal this year is to just slowly but surely, nice and quietly push Alan Lazard down the depth chart. That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Wyatt checking back in. He says, Crum was an athletic freak. Joe D will nab him late. Hey, dude, we have 3 7s. That's not an unrealistic thing to ponder. Joe Douglas just might stack, with some tackles in the 7th round, and he's probably going to be there. Crum. I mean, he did really well for himself, so maybe he slides up a bit, but I could see him there, in the 6th and 7th round, and Joe Douglas just might consider it, honestly.
Yeah. So here we are in the 3rd round, Bean. And look, again, you got a super.
We got more quarterbacks.
We got more quarterbacks and more wide receivers, man.
No, look at that. All right. Alan Doge, Xavier Worthy is going to be a Dolphin. You think?
You know what? I talked about that on Ryan's show just before a little bit. I said, watch out. Imagine that speed on that offense with A-Shane and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Good Lord.
Yep. All you got to do is get to Tua. You got to it's it. I mean, look, that speed is incredible. I mean, if you added Xavier Worthy to the Dolphins, but look, it didn't work, dude. It didn't work. So whatever they're doing, you got to be more See, that's the thing. I don't know. finessey kind of teams, which is what they are.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes if you don't have that kind of that really firm support behind it, like finesse runs its course. And most of the time, it's like the finesse teams, they always seem to hit a brick wall in the playoffs, and the Dolphins did that yet again. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see. Go ahead. All right. Thank you, Alan.
So
What
we got ourselves a quarterback of our future. We got ourselves a weapon to play right away. You know, we're working on the assumption that we've, you know, did some work on the offensive line in free agency, but now might be a time to build that pipeline and look at these inside or outside offensive linemen. So why don't we see what we got going on, Bean, with the tackles? You got Patrick Paul. You got Dominic Pooney, who's a guy who's inside, outside, flexible. You know, probably will end up as a guard, but definitely a guy in line with ABT who can suitably play outside. He was a left tackle all in all through college. Has enough length to play tackle. Has enough athleticism to play tackle. But you know, the prognosticators are thinking that he might move inside. You got Patrick Paul, you got Pooney, you got Christian Jones, who's one of my favorites from the Senior Bowl, man. An absolute stud. Didn't lose a rep. Didn't lose one rep in the Senior Bowl one-on-ones. And you know, being there last year, like that says something about your talent. If you're on an island there in the midst of everybody watching and you don't lose one rep to the best of the best,
Yeah.
to me that shows something. So you got some tackles there. Let's look at
I threw both of those guys up.
Okay, and then you inside, you got Christian Mahogany. He's probably
Still there.
You got Cooper Beebe still there. Yeah, I mean, you got Mahogany, you got Beebe. You want somebody said, sure. So you can put one of them, put both of them. I don't care.
I'll put them both up.
Okay, so we're going offensive line here, guys. You got two tackles, two guards.
Yep. Wait. Let me see the spelling of their names again. Wait. Yeah, go back to the
Mahogany.
Yeah.
And Beebe,
all right. Yeah.
and
yeah.
Beebe.
Yep.
And then the tackles are Paul, and I don't know who you're putting, Jones or Pooney.
No. Yeah, Jones for sure.
Jones. Okay.
Okay. This is where we support the O-line.
That's it. This is areas that
smart
areas that are looking. And Poppin's talking about Matt Goncalves, who's a guy from Pitt. Battled an injury at the end of the year. Definitely has the length to stay outside. His game in college actually reminded me a lot of Carter Warren's. You know, I thought that they were both very technically adept in, you know, on an island on the left side in the pass. Could use a little loving in the run game. But Goncalves in the third, fourth round is a guy I'd love to snag and kind of redshirt and let him get healthy, let him get strong, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. All right. So we have a question here. We talked about it a little bit, but just to kind of give RB Gamer a brief rundown, what do you see from Worthy as far as his route tree and all that?
So he wins at all three levels of the field. He does. He catches, you know, he's got very good hands. The reality is, guys, he's, you know, 5'9", 166 pounds. So he's smaller, doesn't have the big wingspan that you want. But what he does is he knows, like I said, he sinks his hips well. His route running is nuanced, you know, knows how to break off at the top of the stem, can create separation. He's a guy who, you know, he tracks the ball well for you know, for a small guy, just because, you know, it was asked of him to do a lot in Texas. So, you know, does he have the best hands? No, he doesn't. You know, he battled a little bit of the dropsies last year. I think he had, you know, 9 drops last season. However, you know, a lot of those are, you know, routes that are outstretched and, you know, he's losing just because he can't gain that extra half step or so, you know, overthrown ball or so on and so forth. I think Worthy's as solid of a receiver as to get. Gives me a lot, and I know it's a cheap comparison because of his size, but think of Tank Dell. Think of the way Tank Dell moved. Think of guys like Marquise Hollywood Brown, the way Hollywood Brown moves. You know, this is like the mold of what Xavier Worthy is going to be at the next level.
Yeah. So good answer. Aaron Daniels has a really good reason to take mahogany because he wants to say, like Ron Burgundy, my interior O-line smells of rich mahogany. I love it. That's very good. Lots of leather-bound books. All right, the poll is over.
Pretty even. Look at that, man.
Look at this. Oh, Christian Jones edges it out. I'm excited about that.
Wow, that's the
Oh, I like
closest.
it.
That's the closest votes that we've had ever, I think.
Look
where
at
they're
that. You're
all
29, 24, 24, 22.
Yeah.
All right, Infrared, who'd you vote for there? Because I'm curious. Mahogany he voted for.
And who won? Christian
Me,
Jones?
he answered me before I even said, yeah, Christian Jones won it. Now, look, if you're upset by that, take 10 minutes, even just watching some highlights. But if you're going to break in and you only have 10 minutes to study a player, if I may, just go to YouTube into the search engine and type in the player's name and write in like draft breakdown or prospect breakdown. That'll be somebody like a Dom C showing you and pointing out their moves and struggles and, strengths and it's a real good way. If you only have a few minutes to look at somebody, I recommend doing something like that. Dom, you got any guys that you like? You want to recommend some channels that you think are pretty good?
I'll give you the best one. If you join GreenBean's Patreon every Wednesday, we're going to be breaking down some film of these prospects.
There you go.
Right there.
That's the Beanbaggers. The Beanbagger link to join is right in the description.
Yeah.
Every Wednesday night we get together. We in a private Zoom room and we discuss. We look at film and we discuss the players, and it's great. It's a great time.
But for YouTube, the guys that I think do a good job with that, A to Z Sports does a really good job. And then if you want like quick hitters, there's I don't know the name of the site, but they do the 2-minute drill and they go through the prospects.
What is that? Right.
I think it's actually called 2-minute drill.
Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, they're good. Wait, 2
They're
minutes.
they're quick and you can, you get something and move on.
Let me see what they're. Yep, the that page is it's the number 2-minute drill. Yeah. And it's good. Yeah, we stumbled on them early last year. I think we started going, look at this.
Yeah.
So they've actually picked up a lot of steam here.
Yeah.
They only had a few hundred subscribers last year. They're up to almost 6,000. So that's good. Good for them. All right. So where are we, Dom?
We're in the 4th round, Bean. And we've went quarterback, we've went wide receiver, we've went offensive tackle. So now is a fair shot to look at the defense. And I'm going to go first and foremost, guys, to the defensive interior because we have a gaping hole there. We have a gaping hole there. Foley Fatukasi was released today, and I know I'd be kind of on board with bringing old Foley back to take some of those one-tech snaps as part of the rotation, but I don't think it would hurt us to talk about some of these guys right here. McKinley Jackson, beautiful, perfect one-tech. Christian Boyd, Bean. Are you familiar with Christian Boyd? I
am.
Shrine Bowl standout, small school guy, but a big body. Let's see if we can break him. What is this size? 6'4", 317. A physical presence in there, man. 81 PFF, if you care about their grades, graded out as an 88.1, again, at University UNI, which is an FBS, not an FBS school. But you see what he did. Look what he does against the run. Look what he does against the pass. Very, very good. This is a good landing spot. I'd put those two guys in there first and foremost, to be honest with you.
All right, so I got McKinley Jackson up there. You want to put Christian Boyd up there?
Christian Boyd is another one, yeah. Okay. And then let's look at the edge rushers. Let's see who's there.
See these guys in their spellings, man. Christian is now KH.
Yes.
It's killing me. All right. But listen, let's also consider running back here.
Okay.
All right.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's definitely consider some running back. We know Joe Douglas has yet to make it through a draft without taking a running back. The 4th round is his sweet spot area. I think Izzy was a 5th, if I remember correctly, but Michael Carter was a 4th.
Yeah.
Brees was a second.
And
P.
then
Ryan was a fourth.
P. Ryan was a fourth. Yep.
Yep.
And listen, look at these running backs here that are on the board still. Marshawn Lloyd, Trey Benson, Braylon Allen, if you want your big bruising type.
Braylon Allen. Yep.
Actually, I should say Aldrich Estime, if you want your
Yes.
big bruising type.
I watched a whole bunch of. I was messing around with him before the combine.
Yeah.
Before I sat down for the combine yesterday, I watched. I don't know. I probably did 45 minutes just watching Estime. If you guys haven't looked at these guys, love Braylon Allen, love Aldrich Estime.
Now, the funny thing about these four of those names that I talked about, Bucky Irvin is not there. Whoever's asking, Mike the Stat Guy, he's off the board. But the funny thing about these guys here is that you got four really different types of backs, which is pretty cool. Trey Benson is, again, not a comp, but think of like a Jahmyr Gibbs, a guy who's, can win, can hit a hole and has that second gear, but is really going to help you, in the pass game. That's really where he's going to stand out. You got Marshawn Lloyd, who's more of your traditional Breece Hall kind of 3-down back. And then you got Aldrich Estime, who's more of your power back. He's your one. He's your one cut and go. He's a guy that's going to get the dirty stuff up the middle.
You know what I love about him? What I love about him? Like, look, this is something, we played in the same PAL league for kids and everything. And all the way from that age, they tell, running backs, wide receiver, keep your feet chopping, right? But for some reason, at the pro level, not everybody does it. And if you ever watch Estime's tape, when he hits the pile, what happens is his legs start to pick up speed and he starts to chop his feet and push through. And I love it, man. It's like I love wrapping the arms. I love grabbing the back of thighs on tackles. Like, it's just the simple, textbook fundamental stuff. And Estime does that to such a high level. That's why I like him, because I see that sort of. I'm like, it's consistent with him.
Yeah, he's the thunder portion of your thunder and lightning kind of rotation in the backfield. And then Braylon Allen's a little bit of everything. He's a big guy, but he's definitely a little bit more shiftier than Aldrich Estime. Although I think Estime has better contact balance. He runs through arm tackles better, so on and so forth. So you got a little bit mix of here. So if I were you, Bean, I would take if you want to put two running backs on here, you got two defensive linemen.
Yeah.
I would take, you like Estime, put Estime on there, and you can choose between Lloyd or Benson, whichever one suits your pleasures, my friend.
You could do Marshawn Lloyd.
Okay.
All right. Now, guys, we just talked about running backs a lot, but do not forget.
That's right.
The defensive line piece of this. All right. And it just so happens there's at least one of these guys is a really, really solid pick right here for the defensive line.
Yeah.
If you like Christian Boyd or not, but McKinley Jackson, in my opinion.
McKinley Jackson is going to be my vote here, just because I think the need for that one tech is probably a little bit stronger than the need for a Breece Hall backup. I think you can still plug that later, but I'm not trying to sway the chat. It's your vote. You do what you want, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, look, there's a few things. Again, with our defensive line, I don't have any real concerns. I know, technically speaking, Quinnen's the only guy in the interior that we have, but they're not going to have much issue filling that, in my opinion. Matter of fact, I think the one place that will easily attract people is for our defensive line.
Interesting.
What's that?
I said interesting.
Yeah, and I think that we're not going to be looking for, breaking the bank. We might go back for Fletcher Cox or something like that. I mean, who knows? We tried it last year. We almost had him, from what the reports say.
Yeah.
But I think that we're not going to have much issue there. Running back. So, but don't forget our rotation and everything like that. You're looking at a guy we draft here. We're probably looking at a 30%, 35, 40% guy. That's realistically what we're looking at. Running back, we know Breece Hall's our bell cow, but we also know that we need more than Breece Hall. You don't want to go in there and only have him that you feel like you can depend on. We don't really know what Izzy is. He struggled to break through the lineup last year. Hey, maybe he's going to be great, but I think we need more. And if we draft a running back 4th, 6th, whatever it might be, they're going to get playing time.
Yeah.
In a similar capacity. I think the defensive line will get more, but either way, we're not looking at, with this pick right here, you're not looking at full-time guys necessarily.
Yeah. Yep. And listen, I think you hit the nail on the head. You talked about Fletcher Cox, and I think they offered him $11 million last year. What about a guy being like DJ Reader, who's a free agent from Cincinnati? Nice big nose tackle. That might be a little bit more expensive, but can you see Joe Douglas spending that kind of money?
Maybe. Let me look at his market value, actually. I'm just curious.
DJ Reader.
Yeah. He signed. Well, okay. He just finished a 4-year, $53 million contract. So let's see what they're thinking that he'll get. They're 15 million. That's what they're estimating. It's an estimation, but 14.9 million, 3 years, average salary 14.9 a year. I don't know. What do you think? You think he'd pull it? I don't know, man. We don't have the money.
I just don't listen. At some point, Joe Douglas is historically cheap at certain positions. I'm not saying defensive tackle is one of them, but this year he's going to have to tighten up in areas where he might have spent a little bit more lusciously, if you will, in past years. I think you said it perfectly before. The defensive lineman is a spot where you can get those 1-year stopgap vets that can produce, especially when the core of your defensive line is there with JFM and Quentin Williams and JJ and Will McDonald. Yeah.
Bryce Huff.
Yes.
All right. The poll is over. I forgot to hit the timer. We're definitely over a minute and a half. McKinley Jackson sweeps it, man. 62%. The only one who got a significant amount of votes was Audric Estime, and Lucas hit Boyd by mistake. So that's where he got the 5% right here.
Well, listen, this would be a great landing spot if we used this 4th round pick and a guy like McKinley Jackson, man. And I got to speak to him at the Senior Bowl this year. I got an interview. I don't know if we ever posted it or not, but maybe I will through the Talking Jets thing here. But man, let me tell you, I talked to him. One of the questions I asked him, I said, man, how would you feel about playing on a defensive line for Jeff Ulbrich right next to Quinn Williams? He said, don't forget, you got another dog down there in number 72. Forgot he was he did. He was teammates with Michael Clemens. And I said, I'm not. No, I said, we love Mike. No disrespect.
Right. Where are you here? I'm going to find it. Folders. Where's the Senior Bowl stuff in our drive here?
It's in the shared drive. It says Senior Bowl, and then there's a subfolder that says interviews.
Let's see. Senior Bowl, where is it? I don't see it. I can never fucking find anything I'm looking for in here. It's crazy. Folders, Talking Jets shared. Let's see.
Senior Bowl.
There it is, Senior Bowl.
And then interviews.
Interviews. And I'm looking for McKinley Jackson. There it is. Yeah. All right, you guys want to see Dom's interview with McKinley Jackson real quick? Oops.
Yeah, let's look at it. I got to post some of these. I haven't.
Yeah, you got it. And now's the time. Yeah, now's the time. We should put these on Talking Jets, or if you're not going to put them on your channel, we can throw them up on Talking Jets. Yeah. It's up to you. All right, let me just drop this off real quick. Let me show you guys. Where the hell is it? Yep. All right. So here's Dom C's interview with our most recent draft pick, McKinley Jackson. There it is. All right. You hear it?
No.
What is that? I don't know why that is. Hold on. You can't hear the music?
We cannot.
All right. That's the strangest thing in the world.
Let me try it.
Audio, share tab, and share a tab instead. Hold on. Yeah, but it's not doing that. It wants me to download it. Hold on. Yeah, I don't care if it's I trust. All right. Let me get it out of my downloads. I'll do it that way. Hold on, guys. I want you to see this. You couldn't even hear that, huh? You couldn't hear the music?
But in that intro music, just fabulous.
Fucking best.
Oh, I love it.
All right, here. Let me see. Hopefully you can hear it now. Let's see. All right. Can you hear it? Can you hear that?
Very low. But we heard it.
All right. You can hear it though?
Hey guys, Dom C here with Talking Jets. I was able to get my hands on McKinley Jackson, defense tech, Texas A&M. Again, great week so far. Good.
The sound's really bad, Bean.
Yeah, it's loud. You hear it? It's loud in the room.
Listen, it shows on the field. I mean, you're dog out. No lie. I mean, the practice, the one-on-one reps. I mean, physical, tenacious. Hands-on. You do it all, man. What's the one thing you want to leave?
Can you hear it?
32 teams in the NFL. What's the one thing they want to remember within that?
So we gotta hopefully all these just number people. Like we need to work to the spot to get him. So I just think about that.
You can't really hear him. He's coming in
No. Yeah, though, you know what? It's the mic thing, right? I mean, like, are you hearing the room noise? Is that what it is?
No, just him. So that's all you're hearing.
Oh, really? All right. Well, we'll do it another time.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about that. We'll get back to the draft. Well, Dom had McKinley Jackson.
I'll play when we're done here. I'll go ahead and I'll post it out in Twitter and maybe I'll give it to you, or we can have.
Maybe I'll drop it in. I can get rid of some of that background noise too. So yeah, I can take care of that and get it over to you real quick.
So here we are, guys.
Yeah,
we're at 187. We've gotten a quarterback. We've gotten a wide receiver. We've gotten a tackle. We've gotten a defensive tackle. So the options are open. There's plenty of different ways we can go here, right? So let's look at some of these. Let's look at some of these positional groups here. Somebody asked about more wide receivers. The pickings get slim here. There's very, very. We probably missed the boat on all the wide receivers that you really want to consider. So I think that ship has sailed.
Yeah. Well, we're in the 6th.
Yep.
Nobody that you like as a developmental guy here?
Well, Brew McCoy went back to college. Gould's he's a deep threat. A little bit light in the pants, if you ask me. The only other guy here that I really would even consider is Whittington. He's a big slot. He's in the mold of Alan Lazard kind of type. No one here that really wets my whistle. Hayden Haddon is an interesting. He's a developmental guy, but I think he can be a 7th rounder. Big time player, but again, played at Idaho, FCS, FBS school. Let's look at the safeties. What do you say, Bean?
Yeah. Joey R and some others are asking about safety. So we'll look at some safeties. We'll see who's there for the running backs.
Yeah. Two safeties right off the board, right off the top that interest me, Bean, is Katano Ladapo. He's your bruiser. He's your big, typical box, overhang, big nickel, strong safety type. He's your Jordan Whitehead replacement. He's better in coverage than Jordan Whitehead. Still a little bit stiff. Does his best work inside the box.
Yeah. So he's essentially. So you would label him a strong safety.
I would label him a strong safety, but I'd label him a really good strong safety. And then you got the flip side, right? If you want to go to the free route, then you got Kenny Logan, who plays that, that Tony Adams, off coverage, deep center field type. I want to look at the cornerbacks too.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Hey, there it is. I was going to bring it up. RB Gamer. Look at this comment. When will Dom say cornerback? Taking bets. And there it is.
Yeah, there we go. It's late. It's late, RB Gamer.
It's very late, man. I almost put that comment up, but I left it off. I'm like, I don't want to cue you. I want to see if it organically happens, and I'll find the comment again.
Yeah.
Well done, RB Gamer. Yep, there it is. So it happened.
And it's the truth, RB Gamer. I'm when they draft a cornerback come April, I'm going to post something. I told you, RB. Anyhow, I like both of the Penn State kids here. Daquan Hardy really tested out a lot better than I expected. He's a guy probably going to be more slot. Johnny Dixon's more of your boundary guy. I like both of these guys here. But we'll look at some other positions that we're not limited to that. We still have to get a running back, right? We talked about a big guy. I love Isaiah Davis here. I love Isaiah Davis as a player.
Yeah, I got to do more on him. I can't say, but I did like him.
I
Frank Gore, what do you think? I mean, he's the name, and I see people legitimately liking him. How do you feel about Frank Gore?
Listen, I think I like the name Frank Gore Jr. more so than the player Frank Gore Jr. I mean, he's pretty undersized. I think he's going to be a little bit niche. I think a guy like Isaiah Davis or even a Mayan Williams, they could play legitimate roles, from the get-go in a rotation. More so Isaiah Davis, because not only can he, is he effective in between the tackles? He's a big guy, but he's phenomenal. And I had an interview with him as well, and he talked about he understands his path. He understood in college that his path to the next level was going to be being a secure member in pass protection. So he's a dog in pass protection, so that gets you on the field quicker. And he's got some special team chops. Isaiah Davis, if we're talking running backs, being is the way I'd go. If we're talking about safeties, I gave you the two names.
I got the two up there. Let's
we can look at the interior. We haven't looked here at the interior line.
Well, we did draft one. All right, go ahead and let's see who's there. See if there's any value there.
There is value. Trevor Keegan, really good guard. Javion Cohen, another guy. He tested out at Mobile really, really well. An Alabama transfer to Miami. He's long. He can move. The darling of all the offensive linemen, Tanner Bortolini. 99 percentile in testing, and a big fan of Joe Tippmann's. Played behind Joe Tippmann and next to Joe Tippmann at Wisconsin, and he's got a flowing mullet just like Joe Tippmann. Man, they grow it well down there. So, I'd probably put one of these guys in here. Now, Bortolini,
his versatility, is he strictly a center? I mean,
absolutely not. He played.
No, okay.
So they used him. He's a center. He's played left guard and right tackle all at Wisconsin. And they also used him as a swing tackle. So on situations where they'd go heavy and they'd bring in a sixth tackle, and they used him to pull. They used him out, in the flank, and they used his agility. I would say center is probably the worst position out of all of his, because the centers from Wisconsin always have trouble adjusting to the NFL because they're one of the few teams that doesn't work from a shotgun. Everything is under center. So they struggle with those shotgun snaps. You remember the Joe Tippmann nonsense in the beginning of the year, right? Oh, he's a bum because he can't snap.
Remember?
Yeah,
he was a bust. Remember that? Hey, the other safety was it Kansas?
Yes.
The Kansas kid, Kenny Logan, right?
Logan, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So, all right. The poll is up. We got two safeties, a running back, and an interior offensive lineman. We got Oladapo, Logan, Isaiah Davis, and Bortolini. So let me start the timer because I continually forget here. Let's see. There it is. Timer is up. So get your votes in, everybody, and let's see. I'm real curious about this one too.
I forgot to look for Crumb for you, man.
Yeah, it's all right. Let's see where he's there.
Nah, I don't see him.
No?
Let's see.
Get out of town.
Let's see.
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's snatched. Somebody he's this year's Cody Mock for me.
Yeah. Big and ugly.
Yeah, it's big and ugly. Did you see they had a whole thing with him? He proposed to his wife, and they had the picture and everything. They were really going in deep on that hair. His wife does his fiance does the product, or I don't know if they're married yet or whatever. But they really went deep on that hair of his, man. They called it the lettuce.
Yeah, Ron Weiss, that's a great comment, by the way. He does look like Dee Snyder. Young.
Yeah. Infrared saying we need another lineman. Now, don't forget Infrared. The whole idea of this one is that the Jets went heavy in free agency with the offensive line. So don't get nervous. It's not like we don't have anybody. So you think we got, two tackles and a guard in free agency. You know what I mean? Maybe even more. Mm-hmm. So that's what allowed us to do this.
Yeah.
It's going to be really nice once free agency happens and we can see, obviously, this whole mock thing takes a different turn because it starts to become more realistic. Right now, what we're doing is we're exploring scenarios, hypotheticals, to see what it would look like. But But yeah, once we know what we have in free agency, it becomes like, all right, now it's what are we really going to do?
That's right. So after next week, because I think free agency, right? The tampering period starts next Monday. I think
That's right.
it
The
becomes
11th.
real. It becomes real, guys. It becomes real, man.
That's right. The 11th. We're here, guys. We are here again. Let's see what we got. So Tanner Bortolini, dude, beats out the safety. I gotta say, I'm disappointed. I really wanted Oladapo. I really did.
You know what? I think I actually voted for Isaiah Davis, but I'd be happy with Oladapo as well. But I get it. Bortolini, he offers versatility. He offers depth, and now he's a Jet, man. And guess what? We have 3 more picks. We can go get our safety here.
Yeah.
So I say, Bean, that if any of the safeties or Isaiah Davis are on the board, keep them in the poll.
Okay. So, if any of them are there, which I don't know, maybe Logan will be there. I don't think Oladapo is going to be there. Let's see here. All right, we're almost there. Come on, hurry up, you.
What's
going on? So we didn't take a running back either. So we didn't get a running back yet, I don't think.
We have not gotten a running back. And the pick. Oh, there's Carson Steele.
Here he is.
There he is, the Bean favorite. Let's look at the safety room. Ooh.
Oladapo's there. Okay, so Oladapo.
And so's Josh Proctor. I think he's another.
I like Josh Proctor, actually.
Yeah. So I'd put those.
Look at Kenny Logan just went 2 picks before us. You see that?
Yeah. So why don't you go ahead and put those 2 safeties, Bean?
Yep.
Put your guy Steele.
Pick 253. Okay, Carson. Steele. Oh, dude, if the Jets come away with him, man, I'm gonna be ecstatic. I have this weird. I don't know. I'm getting a weird feeling that this draft is going to be exactly what I want, but not this one. But I mean, our real Jets. I have a fucking. I never have this feeling, and I have a feeling that the Jets are going to do exactly what I want this year. If that happens, you will see Carson Steele on the Jets.
Well,
all right. So we got
where's JB Games? Is that who it was? Who said that thing in my cornerbacks? Because I'm not picking any of these 3 hacks.
No,
I can tell you we're done. I haven't done any work on Dante Kent. I don't know who he is, and I can't say that I've actually done work on Jarius Monroe either. So the cornerback dream, the Dom Kutry reality is done. So you got 3. You got 3 in the poll.
I got 3 in the poll.
All right. So we got a tight end we could think about. We got linebacker.
All right. Let's see.
Let's look at the linebackers too. We haven't looked at those either. Oh yeah, right here. For sure. There's 2 good linebackers actually.
Pick one. I'm throwing them up there.
Eddie Ulofoshio. Ulofoshio. Super underrated. Off ball, kind of, you're a little bit small, kind of your chase and tackle kind of guy, your weak side linebacker. He's good. Nathaniel Watson's kind of your Mike backer too. So you got 2 good linebackers here, man.
All right. I threw Eddie up there.
So why don't we do this? We got 2 picks back to back. Take the 2 highest here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we'll do. So the 2 highest voted for players will be our next 2 picks. So here's what I predict it'll be Oladapo and Carson Steele. That's what I think is going to happen. Now, Lucas is saying I'm setting myself up for hurting. Lucas, there's no other way to be in this game of being a Jets fan. I mean, I hurt every year. I hear you, but I don't know, man. I just a weird feeling. I don't know what it is. Like, I never feel that. I'm like, here's what they should do. I have my hopes. This year, I have a feeling. It's weird. So we'll get all my guys. I have a feeling that some of these guys I like are going to be Jets. And it's hard to do because there are so many guys, you know what I mean? And so many teams. It's hard to nail, especially once you get out of the first. It's hard to nail who they're going to take. I did have Lavernius Coles in the 3rd many years ago.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I still think he's one of my favorite Jets of all time.
He was so good, dude.
Yeah, like he was just a guy that, was never the best in the league, but you knew he was going to be very good. He's just a guy that I found easy to root for, man.
Yeah, I like
Him and
a whole
Marvin
bunch.
Jones. Marvin Jones was another one back in the day that I found very easy to root for.
Yeah, totally. All right, let's see what we got here. All right, well, they're two safeties. So Oladapo, I guess we got to do it, right? We got to take two safeties.
Take the two safeties.
That's what we said.
We got holes in the safety room, so.
Yeah. So, okay, Oladapo and Josh Proctor, the 7th round safety duo coming to town. Infrared, see, Lucas says I'm setting myself up. Infrared says, I hope it happens for you, GreenBean. Oh, thank you, buddy. Lucas is feeling bad. Sweet soul. You know.
You and I'd say, Bean, for this last one, put your guy Carson Steele on there. Put Olafosio, put Nathaniel Watson, and call it a day.
All right, so we got Carson. Oops, last pick. This is Mr. Irrelevant.
This is.
Oh.
Kingsley Gockwin's still on the board here for PFF. 276.
All right, wait.
Ooh, Keaton Slovis.
Wait, I know. Well, Gabe Hall. All right, so who else? All right, who else did we? What else is it?
Say Carson Steele, Eddie Olafosio, O-L-O.
Wait, it's U-L. Wait, U-L. What is it?
I'll give it to you, Bean. It's right here. U-L-O.
F-O-S-H-I-O.
Yep.
All right, Eddie. And he is a linebacker. All right, who else we got? You
Nathaniel Watson, linebacker, Mississippi State.
All right, there it is. It's a wrap. It's going up. The timer has started. You guys got a minute and a half to vote. Yeah. Hey, Jason, we got to two. Hey, at least it's not a first and second round safety. That's a whole different thing than two in the 7th.
And Jason, we said before we made the pick, we'd take the top two. So the top two safeties, that's who we get. It's the 7th round in a make believe draft. It is what it is.
Yeah, right. But not for nothing. Let me tell you guys something. If Josh Proctor and Oladapo are sitting there in the 7th,
oh yeah,
and we decide to bring them both in and just kind of stock the safety, I have no issue with that, man. None.
Yeah, because you got a guy like Oladapo who can come in and push to play, relatively quickly, and then a guy like Proctor who's going to make his money being a special teams ace, so it's not outlandish. You know what I mean? Christ, the Washington Commanders, do you remember Being when they drafted RG3, they drafted Kirk Cousins 2 rounds later.
Well, what was that? What they? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Look at that. So, I mean, it's all, look, I'm totally with it. It's like taking two safeties, 2 picks, and I totally get it. Again, in the 7th round, I mean, you want to talk about dart throws, crapshoot. 7th round is about it. But when you look, if the value's there, and it just happens to be at the same position, and we have 3 picks in the round, go ahead and do it. All right,
this is amazing. This is amazing.
It's
a blowout.
I'll tell you what, though, man. If Carson Steele ends up being our Mr. Irrelevant, you're going to see an actual Mr. Irrelevant with some impact, which outside of Brock Purdy doesn't happen all that often. Yeah. So that would be great.
All right.
There he is, Joey.
Let's pick him. Mr. Irrelevant, Carson Steele. Boom.
Yeah. All right.
Now the grade should be interesting on this one. The grade should be really interesting. I mean, they didn't like our grade, but I'm curious on what the chat says because of the Jaden Daniel thing. It's either they love it or they hate it.
Yeah. All right, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so let's take a look. Don't go yet, Dana. We need to know your grade. We're here. All right, let's do our recap. We haven't recapped all night, so I forgot what we did in the beginning. That's crazy. All right, let's go ahead, Dom. Read it off.
So after a trade back with the 13th pick, the Jets took quarterback from LSU, Heisman Trophy winner Jaden Daniels. With the trade up in the second round, they snagged the fastest man in the NFL, wide receiver Xavier Worthy out of Texas. Followed that up with a third-round tackle, Christian Jones, also out of the University of Texas. Followed by interior defensive lineman, one tech extraordinaire, McKinley Jackson from Texas A&M in the fourth round. We then went on and secured the inside, some interior line depth with Ras Darling, Tanner Bortolini. And in the seventh round, we stocked our safety room with the big hitter in Katan Oladapo and the special teams ace and little Swiss Army knife, Josh Proctor, and followed it up with the bean, the green bean special, the man of steel, Carson Steele.
That's right. I get this the last pick in the entire draft is for me. There it is.
Right.
All right, man. This is going to be an interesting Kareem. This is actually honestly, maybe the highest grade that he's given so far.
That's not an F minus. That's not an F minus.
Not bad for Kareem.
He must have liked the quarterback pick.
I think he might have. He doesn't want to say it out loud, but Jets mess. What's up, buddy? C minus. Modeem with a B. Jason Zayas with an A plus because of the quarterback. Dano, that is a trade I want scenario. A plus, but usage not so much.
Yeah.
Trade, yeah. All right, I get it.
That's fair.
Jay with a B. Bradigan says, I don't want to do this, but I didn't like the pick. Jaden Daniels pick, and you didn't pick Estime. So again, it's B-ish, B minus ish. Hey, that makes sense. Scott Foster with a flat F.
Big old F.
RB Gamer with a C. Gitmo Bob says, can I give less than an F? No, you're not allowed. F is all we're allowed, Bob. That means worst. So an F from Gitmo Bob. Ryan Jett with a C. Mark from Asbury Park with a B. Shouldn't have taken two safeties. Harlan says,
of all the things in this draft, that's what you're going to harp on is those two seventh round.
You know
safeties.
what? So, but if you could have gotten Watson or something like that, I get it. I do.
I know. I'm just busting.
But it's funny, right? The seventh round is not what I'm going to be complaining about.
Forget about the first round quarterback. It's the two safeties and pick 253 and 254.
Yeah. Zebo likes Latham. Hurtis. Russell, B minus with a chance to be an A plus. Interesting.
If Daniels works out, I guess it does, right?
Yeah, that would be something. I mean, look, dude, I tell you, man. So every now and then, it's like the Green Bay Packers. They bite the bullet and they prep for I get it. You know what I mean? It's working for them. Maybe we take a little page out of their book. The Aaron Daniels says fun factor A, draft C minus. Yeah. Johnny Jimenez with a Z is my grade. JD must have been sleeping.
Well, hey, listen, the chat picked.
That's right, but we gave them the choices though too. So we're not completely innocent in this one. High Lost Boy says C. Jalen All-Goodson with a D because of the quarterback. Hank with a C. Braden's, I can't believe it's over. Poor Braden.
He got here late.
He just get here. We didn't get him one linebacker either. Luke, not my favorite draft, but I wouldn't love the offseason strategy signing free agent. Yeah, well, again, imagine if we got the stout O-line in free agency, if this is what we came away with. It does soften it somewhat. Mike B with a B. Karanzan with a B. Jason Valente, solid B. I really like the Worthy Borton Jones picks. Interesting. Harlan says with a C. Dano, 10th for 37th, the best case scenario. Yeah, it's good. I know the trade, I wouldn't mind sliding back to 13 and picking up a third. I wouldn't mind it. Unless we lose the three guys we want in that fan.
in that, yeah.
Zebo A plus, drafting a quarterback, drafting on Aaron Rodgers MVP season. Yeah, I know. Hey, no Malachi Cordley F from Alan Dodds, right?
F minus.
Mr. Green Jeans with a C. What else? Any more grades?
Give it a dumb C.
Yeah, Joey R with a C. Since JD won't take Jaden Manuel, they ruffle A Rod's. Yeah. Well, I don't think it would ruffle feathers if we take. I mean, it's happened already. I mean, maybe
it would ruffle his feathers.
Yeah, maybe. All right. So, Dom, what's your grade on this one?
This is hard to grade because I don't know how realistic I can take the Jaden Daniels pick, but I will say if we ended up with Xavier Worthy and Christian Jones and McKinley Jackson on this team, and I think I'd be ecstatic because I think those three guys can contribute. And then I love Catano Ladapo. I think he could contribute, and I think Bortolini would be great depth. So I'm gonna go with a C with an option to if Jaden Daniels would have fallen and he was the pick and worked out, this could be as A+ as it gets.
Yeah. Okay. So ultimately, you're around a C.
Yeah.
Yeah. I gotta say, I'm probably C- at best on this one.
Not
I
your
don't.
favorite guys. Yeah.
Well, and not even guys, right? Like, I like Xavier Worthy. I like Christian Jones. I like McKinley Jackson. I think the Jaden Daniels thing really bothers me. You know what I mean? I would be, if that happened, I would be inconsolable until the next pick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would be upset.
We probably should have maybe kept him out considering we probably wouldn't be there.
No, I mean, look, it's what the chat wanted, dude. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So we put him up there and they picked him. So I mean, it clearly we can't be a political party and kind of direct us in only this candidate's all available. You can't do that. As best we can. We only get 4 choices, so we're limited, of course. But yes, I mean, I don't know. And then like where we picked the guys, like I really like McKinley Jackson. I really like Xavier Worthy, Christian, but there were other guys. I think I probably would have gone slightly different directions. I'm not unhappy with that chunk.
Yeah.
Once we get past there, again, 6th, 7th round, I'm fine with those guys. I think we did okay on the back end. But again, maybe a C at best.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right where I am with this one.
Well, it was going right when we had Jaden Daniels in the poll. This one was going to go off the chains quick. So.
Oh yeah, but that's what's fun about it. Like the fact that we don't like it doesn't mean the night sucked. It's like this is the thing. Like so, if you use that pick, even the trade back, which I really like that trade. Like Dano was saying, I like this trade. Sliding back 3 spots, picking up a third, using the 3rd and 4th to get into the 2nd. I have no issue. I like that movement. But then coming away with a quarterback, it's just like, you know what I mean? I can't stomach it. And while I like Xavier Worthy at that point, I probably would have. I know I would have taken. I think Pearsall was still. Yeah, I would have taken Pearsall over.
Yeah. So just say if it for you, I don't think McKinley Jackson. I think that's a good spot for him, and I'm fine with him there.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
So would your grade be different if it was say Pearsall and Dominic Pooney or Pearsall and Patrick Paul instead of Xavier Worthy and Christian Jones?
Maybe. I don't dislike Christian Jones, but I believe at that point Cooper Beebe was still there too. I prefer.
Oh,
Cooper
yeah,
Beebe.
he was.
The position, offensive line, Patrick Paul, I do like as well, but I would have liked to see. I think the interior value was higher than the tackle value at that point. So I would have preferred to get a Cooper Beebe, or I think Christian Haynes was still there.
Instead of Xavier Worthy, yeah, he was. So hey, listen, good exercise to know that how quickly that top couple tiers of tackles falls off, right?
That's right.
Because then after those guys, then you're really rolling dice with guys like Patrick Paul or Suamatea or Abiganje, whatever his name is, Kieran Abinganje. So anyhow,
whatever you say, dude. I'll pronounce it just like Dom said. But yeah, so that's the whole thing. That's what makes it interesting, in my opinion, is like if you do that, like when you do your own mocks at home, at least for me, and I know, and I see what you guys are posting on Twitter. Everybody finds it difficult to like kind of do this exercise, to do something outside of the box, because as soon as you do, all the guys you like are they evaporate. Like poof. Like now, who the hell are these guys? So it's no longer fun unless you want to do some research. So it's an interesting exercise to take part in. Number one, don't forget, we're early in the process. We're still pre-free agency. one of the things I really like to use this for is to educate. Dom's a great wealth of information. So using this time, get to know some guys that might be outside of the box that you weren't looking at, like a Bordolini or an Oladapo, for example. Maybe you don't know who those guys are. Well, maybe now you do, and you look at them and you like them, and it can expand your knowledge. So that's one of the goals here. I see Jets Mess would like another mock. I'm going to tell you honestly, buddy, never happening. Can't do it, bud. I miss those days. I do. But no, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take the other half of my recovery speedball. Yeah, that's right.
Melatonin, baby.
Oh, I'm out of water and everything. I got no fucking liquid in here. I got a small sip of coffee. Here we go.
Yeah. So, hey, I think next week and the following weeks of this is going to be a lot more different because be so much more different because we can really focus. We'll know what kind of moves we can really see what free agent moves will be. If you remember a couple years ago, Bean, when we first started, the first half of the the season of 10 o'clock mock was Trey McBride in the second round, right?
That's right.
We then signed 2 tight ends. We never drafted Trey McBride.
We never heard his name again. And I'll tell you what, look at that guy, huh? Everybody? Yeah. Make no mistake.
We got CJ Uzomah. What do you need Trey McBride?
That's right. What do we need Trey McBride for? We got CJ
But
Uzomah.
do you remember? It was all Trey McBride, and then we signed 2 tight ends, and it was like, later, Trey, you're gone. So that's going to happen again. We're through the first half of the 10 o'clock mock season. We're actually through the first half. We're halfway point, man. It's sad.
Incredible. Hey, Dom, do me a favor. I've been meaning to say this too, and we haven't done it. Can you take a screenshot of our draft and send it to me? I want to put it on Twitter and YouTube and everything so we see what we did every year. Can you shrink your screen and do it?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, send that over to me via text or whatever you can. So I've been meaning to say it every week. I forget. And then the Monday or the next day, I'm like, I don't have it. Every week I want to do this shit. So Dano says there's no doubt in my mind Xavier Worthy is the next in a long line of Devin Smiths and Alex Van Dykes and Ryan Yarboroughs and Stephen Hills. And
fair point, man.
Yeah. I mean, look, but the good news with him is that, like, yes, he lit up the combine, but he's actually statistically he's strong. Like he's whatever, what he brings to he's actually a wide receiver. Devin Smith was a terrible pick. I hated that pick. When McCagnon made that, I was like, really? That's the guy. I mean, granted, the guys I wanted, I forget who they were. There was a guy, forget who I wanted. They didn't do that well either, but I just thought they were much stronger picks. Like I just couldn't believe that Devin and the poor kid.
I don't remember who was on the board when we took Devin Smith at that time.
Let me see here. Jets draft. Let me see what year. 2015 draft. Let me see. I'll even just real quick, man. It's 11:30, so I'm not gonna wait. 2015 NFL draft. It starts with the fucking NBA and everything. Get out of here with that shit. Here we go. I'll show you the screen. I'll tell you guys who I wanted here. That year. This was the year. What we got? Leo, right? Yep. Leonard Williams.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Where did we take Devin Smith?
Early.
Second round. Here we go. Devin Smith. So he was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th pick in the second round. Oh, the value. Dorial Green Beckham. He was one I loved him. He wasn't the guy. He wasn't the guy that I really wanted. I wanted a wide receiver there. Yeah, he was one. Who did I want? Look how far. Tyler Lockett. Yep, he was one. Look at that. Yeah. Jalen Strong. That's the guy I wanted. Again, he didn't do too well, and it happened. Look at this. So it was a trade from the Jets. So they ended up using our pick. But and again, like that one wouldn't have been a great pick for me because he did not do very well. But there was a realistic chance that I took Dorial Green Beckham as well. He had a couple good years there. But look, Tyler Lockett was there. Shit, man. But you see it, guys. Oh, was that too small? Here, I'll show you. So here's where the Jets took Devin Smith. Right, Jesus. Right here at pick 37, and Dorial Green Beckham. Right here at pick 40, Devin Funchess. I don't remember if I
Eric
liked him or not.
Kendricks. Look at that. Good.
Yeah, I mean, lots of guys. I mean, really,
Denzel
lots of good
Perriman.
players. Mitch Morse, but we were looking for a receiver there. So at least he did that. At least he got the position right. But I don't know. That was way too high for Devin Smith. You know what I mean?
One trick pony, man. That's what Devin Smith was.
His claim to fame was that amazing catch. You know what I mean? That one-handed.
Yeah.
It's like that's all you saw over and over. It's like fucking. I remember watching it, like digging into him. I'm like, what are we seeing here? Now and again, I mean, the poor kid. He ended up in the training camp. His rib punctured his lung. So, I mean, even worse luck. Who knows what he could have been. He ended up carving out a slight career for himself. Coming back, I think he ended up playing for Houston. Let's see here, Devin Smith.
I don't remember him playing anywhere.
Yeah, he did, man. Let's just see where he. Yeah, see Dallas. So look, he played with the Jets for 2 years. Look at this little career. Yeah, that's where it was. Yeah, see Houston.
Yeah,
2019. Wow. Look at this. So he only made it. He made it 6 years in the NFL, dude. It's not bad. Not bad. Let's look at his stats. See what
go down. Yeah,
career NFL stats go down.
Oh my God, we're digging into Devin Smith. I can't believe it. All right, so not the best. A grand total of 248 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
wow, 6 years in the league though.
Yeah, but look, for us, he gave us 135 of those 248 yards. So at least he gave us the lion's share. All right, that's enough for that shit. But yeah, I'll say who sent me there? Was that fucking Dano? Dano sent me to
Holy
Devin
shit,
Smith.
Devin Smith. I'm pissed off. Now I'm freaking pissed off.
Right?
Holy
what is
shit.
this shit? I tell you, I tell you, man. Look, I don't want to jinx it, man, and I'm loath to say it, but I'm gonna. Okay. When we throw stones at Joe Douglas and all the stuff that we do, right? And I think especially last year's offseason, rightfully so.
Mm-hmm.
We did not prepare properly for last year's offseason. And most of us knew it the whole time. All right. But can we just say if this guy, out of all the GMs we've had, I'm talking our second round bullshit goes all the way back to fucking Pete Carroll. And I mean, dude, our second round picks are garbage all the way through. Alex Van Dyke was a first round pick, graded wide receiver. We got him with the first pick in the second round. Dude, we were lauded. Oh my God, Keyshawn Johnson and Alex Van Dyke. He did nothing in his whole career. So the fact that Joe Douglas with Breece Hall and Tittman 2 consecutive years, if he's snapping us out of this second round thing, dude, you got to give it to the guy, right? He did.
Yeah.
He did try to go to bed. I kept you up. I did. I said, wait, where you going?
Yeah. I'm going to go punch my heavy bag now for thinking of Devin Smith's career stats. Holy shit.
Oh, God. All right. Well, with all that said, Dano, thank you for the terrible trip down memory lane. And now we'll do some more of it. I'll play you our intro, outro, and really drive it home. Dom, anything you want to let anybody know you got coming, or what's cooking for Dom?
Oh, man. I you know what? I got a lot of stuff in the hopper on my channel, Project Prospect with Dom C. You guys I got a really good somebody I consider a mentor of mine in this whole scouting game, Kyron Samuels, who's going to come on, and he's a former D1, before he got into, the media side, he was a former D1 offensive lineman, nephew of Chris Samuels, the guard from Washington lore. So when we talk about an eye for talent on the offensive line, like Kyron to me is it. So he's going to come on. The next episode, we're just going to be talking offensive linemen. So I urge you guys, especially Jets fans, since this is like where we're focused, like watch that episode. You're gonna learn a lot. On top of that, man, I'm the next couple weeks, I'm like booked all over the place. I got a lot of spots on a lot of different shows. This is just my time. The next 6 weeks are gonna be busy. So
yeah, and then the day after the draft, nobody even knows where Dom C lives. Like it's like
I sleep. That's when I hibernate for a couple weeks, man.
Yeah, and you deserve it, dude. Well done and well earned, my friend. So you know what? Listen, remind me next week, and don't feel humble and you don't want. Remind me. I want to give away a couple t-shirts to support your channel. So we'll get some people, everybody who subscribes to Project Prospect. I'll give away some GreenBean t-shirts next week. I do want to remind you before we go, Liquid IV, the hydration multiplier. 15% off. Use the link in the description. Save on the greatest hydration multiplier in the world. Better than Gatorade and Powerade and all that shit.
Yes.
I remember when Gatorade was good, man. They had 2 flavors, orange and lemon lime. After that, once they got into anything purple.
Arctic Blast. Once they got Arctic Blast, they jumped the shark, man.
Right, exactly. Frost. You're like, all right. Frost is not a flavor, everybody. All right. Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for another great show. Dom, don't forget to send me that thing. But
I already did. I already emailed it to you.
All right, amazing. With that all said, have a great night, everybody. We will see you next time.
1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8.
Donnie Lamb Jones. Wide receiver. As a season ticket holder of the Jets, I'm going to fool Ken O'Brien of California Davis.
Obviously, the Jets know something that, the people up there don't.
Fullback. Roger Vick, Jeff Lageman.
Jets just don't understand the dress all back.
Blair Thomas, running back, Penn State. Johnny Mitchell. The New York Jets select tight end from Penn State, Kyle Brady. Vernon Golston.
Cleveland traded the 5th pick to the New York Jets. And with the 5th pick in the 2009 NFL Draft, New York Jets select Mark Sanchez.
Milner, Smith. Jets select quarterback Christian Hackenberg.
Sam Darnold.